Hello there YouTube, my name is Rob, and you may have seen that recently I did a video on computer firsts. So the first tweet, the first Google search, the first YouTube video, things like that. And I thought it was a really good video, and if you haven't seen it, you should definitely watch it. Link is in the description. And I want to do more of those videos because firsts are just interesting, aren't they? So this video is going to be focused on film firsts. Just interesting firsts within the history of cinema. And there are so many to look at. There's so many that you wouldn't even think of. Like, did you know the first depiction of the female orgasm came in the film Ecstasy way back in 1933? Now I think you should click like on this video just for that fact alone, but we are just getting started. Now on we go into a world of film firsts. So let's start simple. The first film sequel was Fall of a Nation by Thomas Dixon Jr. in 1916, made only 1 year after the original Birth of a Nation by D.W. Griffiths. The very first remake of a film was The Great Train Robbery back in 1904, and was incredibly similar to the original The Great Train Robbery in 1903. Also, the original The Great Train Robbery is now considered the first of the Western as we know the genre today. The first documentary was Nanook of the North back in 1922. The film has a lot of controversy about it in that they obviously didn't know how to make documentaries at the time, so they changed a lot of things from real to fake and staged a lot of things to make it seem like the people were more primitive. For example, they made the Inuits use spears instead of rifles, which they had been doing for a long time beforehand. Now, swear words in films, and there are a lot of firsts when it comes to swear words. As far as I can tell, the first use for the F word in a film goes back to Lady in a Cage way back in 1964. Fun fact, The Wolf of Wall Street currently holds the record for the most uses of the F word in a single film at a staggering 506. That's nearly one F word every 20 seconds. The first film to use the C word is A Tie Between Carnal Knowledge and Women in Revolt, both released in 1971. The first film to have a specific film poster advertising it specifically, rather than posters saying the names of the films and the times that they are showing, was, it's always in French, 1 second, bloody French, La Rose Arrosée, sorry I don't speak French, which means the sprinkler sprinkled. It is a 45-second shot of a gardener hosing some plants when a boy stands behind him and puts his foot on the hose, and the gardener looks in the hose and then he steps off of it and he gets splashed in the face. It is also obviously the first use of that gag in film and basically started slapstick comedy as we know it. This film has a lot of firsts going for it. Oh, and it was made in 1896. Now on to money. The first film to gross $1 million was again Birth of a Nation in 1915. The first film to gross $100 million was Jaws in 1975. The first film to gross $1 billion was Titanic in 1997. The first film to gross $10 billion obviously hasn't been made yet. That's an insane sum of money, and if you actually thought I was going to say a film then joke's on you. The first female film director was, and I'm sorry her name is French so I'm going to struggle here, Alice Guy-Blanche. Don't know. She was born in 1873. She was a very prolific film director in her time, making over 1,000 films. Of the surviving ones, 22 of them are feature length. That's more impressive than a lot of directors nowadays. The first film to feature a kiss on screen was an 18-second long film simply titled, obviously, The Kiss. It caused a lot of controversy at the time, and the Catholic Church even used the film as an argument for censorship. For a kiss! The first horror film, directed by George Méliès, was The House of the Devil, again back in 1896. It's a little over 3 minutes long, but has all of the hallmarks of horror. It's got the devil and witches and skeletons and bats and creepy mist. It's a really fun little short. The first sci-fi film was A Trip to the Moon, again by George Méliès. It is the story of a group of scientists who travel to the moon in a bullet-shaped rocket ship fired by a cannon. They get to the moon and they meet moon men and they explore the mushroom caves of the moon. I consider it more of a science fantasy, but either way it is a landmark film in the history of cinema. The first Academy Awards took place in 1929 and were for films that came out for the previous 2 years. It was the only Academy Awards to not be broadcast on television or radio. The awards were not a secret as they are nowadays. In fact, for the original Academy Awards, the winners for all of the awards were released to the public in newspapers up to 3 months beforehand. Okay, that is all from me. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to click like, I think that's down there, and remember to click subscribe, which should be there. If you have any other interesting film facts, let me know in the comments. I love learning new things, and I will see you all in another video about something else. Cheers now. I'll see you soon.